All right, going back to the top story, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi replies to the motion of thanks to the President's address in the country's lower house of parliament, that is the Lok Sabha, invokes his 2024 election campaign slogan of Modi's guarantee to promise that in his third term, the country will become the third largest economy in the world. All right, Mr. Prafulla Ketkar and Mr. Ashok Tandon join us. Mr. Ketkar is the editor of Organizer Weekly and Mr. Tandon is a veteran journalist. Gentlemen, welcome to DD India News Hour. May I get opening remarks from the two of you? If I can start with you, Mr. Tandon, first. What did you make of the Prime Minister's speech?
See, the Prime Minister's speech was perhaps one of his best speeches we have heard in the Parliament.
Why do you say that?
And coming as it does almost on the eve of the forthcoming general elections, it was full of punctuations. And first of all, I think the major takeaway was highlighting the achievements of his government of the last 10 years, and then comparing the achievements vis-a-vis the 10 years of the UPA government. On each and every count, he compared the achievements and also gave a befitting reply to the criticism which the UPA alliance partners have been making against his government. But I think one very interesting feature of today's speech was he was critical mainly of the Congress party, because apparently he was trying to create a wedge between the emerging or the so-called emerging India alliance and the role of the Congress. And he said Congress is the principal victim why this alliance is not taking off. And he counted a number of instances where he was trying to prove that Congress is primarily responsible for this alliance not coming into being. And attacking the Congress was because the Congress leaders during the debate were mainly critical of the Prime Minister. And I think the achievements, I can go on and listing the achievements, but the question is that why was he not critical of any other political party by name? No political opposition party was named by the Prime Minister, because there are so many political parties which are also ruling in certain states and also trying to cobble together an alliance. So I think today's message to the opposition was very clear, that all the ills of this country over the last so many decades, including the 10 years of UPA regime, and even during the 10 years of the Modi government, it is the Congress which is responsible. And he, in fact, gave a chance to the Congress. He said they got 10 years to prove as a very formidable opposition, but they have even squandered that opportunity also.
Indeed.
And now they are trying to, in fact, spoil the emergence of an alternative to the Modi government, simply because they are all glued to one family. The family does not look beyond it, and therefore they are the main responsible force and political party for all the ills, even in the opposition. So I think that was a very phenomenal way of telling the opposition, why are you tagged on to a party which has no future, plus at the same time which is not looking beyond one family. And he said maybe next time, because we are coming back to power in 100 days, but what will happen to the party to which you are trying to align? And he, in a very lighter way, said, well, that party may be sitting somewhere in the visitors gallery.
Indeed,
so I think it was a very calculated move to create a wedge between the Congress and the other opposition parties, and putting all the blame on the Congress for whatever has happened in the country and even whatever is happening within the opposition today.
Mr. Ketkar, coming to you now, what stood out for you in the Prime Minister's address?
See, I always feel that Prime Minister, keeps his best for the discussion in the Parliament, especially while answering on the President's message and a motion of thanks on it. Always he uses the performance of Congress governments and his government as a comparison. Most of the time he quotes ex-Prime Minister, especially Prime Minister Nehru and Mrs. Gandhi, to make his point. Thirdly, he puts across the achievements of the government, but the best part of all his speeches that we have seen while especially while talking on this particular occasion of motion of thanks, that he uses a lot of sarcasm, lot of political punches, and then sends across the messages very clearly, not just to the political party sitting on the other side of the parliament, but also to the larger audience, the people. Most of the clips that you see in last 10 years have gone viral, are actually, in fact, the parliament, his speeches in the parliament,
right?
And especially speeches where either he is talking about around confidence motion or motion of thanks on president's address. So I see this as a very an interesting way of where a parliamentarian prime minister, I believe, communicates in 3 different layers. One, he is when communicating or dedicating certain projects to the nation. He is more in a prime minister as an administrator. Then he speaks in the political rallies. He speaks as political, purely as a politician. But when he speaks on these occasions in the parliament, he generally is a fantastic parliamentarian. He comes with a lot of data, a lot of references, a lot of quotations, and then put across his point. So that's why this address becomes very, very interesting.
Right, and I'm running out of time, so finally, one question to the both of you. The Prime Minister predicted at least 370 seats to the BJP in the 2024 election and more than 400 for the NDA. Do you want to make a prediction of your own? Starting with you, Mr. Tandon.
No, I think even that is the prediction of more pollsters also. If I may say, even many of the opposition parties also. No, but one point I would like to emphasize is, see, when he said that we have given Bharat Ratna to Karpuri Thakur, then he, was unsparing in criticizing Congress party for not doing anything for the OBCs and backward sections and the deprived sections of the society. And he gave the example that even the all-powerful National Advisory Council, which was during the UPA regime, he did not name the chairperson of that committee. We all know who the person was. He said not a single OBC person was in that committee. And they said, when they look towards us and say that what the BJP government or the Modi government is doing about the OBC, he said, can't they see the biggest OBC standing in front of you? That Prime Minister Modi himself is an OBC. So I think it was a very highly high voltage political speech addressing directly to the opposition. That where are you today? Where do you stand? Do you stand any chance? When we come back to power in another 100 days, what will be your future? Indeed. So please look after your own future and do something rather than attacking me personally, throwing stones on me. And he said, I will use all these brickbats and stone for the very foundation of India, new India, which we are going to build in the next 25 years.
All right, Mr. Ketkar, you get the last word. The Prime Minister gave a sneak peek, as it were, into what his 3rd term in office would look like when he said that he will take big decisions that will lay the foundation of India for the next millennium. I'm curious to know from you as to what those big decisions could be.
It's very, very difficult to predict, and Prime Minister, likes to be unpredictable. But what I feel is when he specifically mentioned that he spoke from the ramparts of the Red Fort on the 15th of August, the Independence Day speech, and again while doing the Pran Pratishtha of Ramlala at Ayodhya, that we are laying the foundation for next 1,000 years. Now here I feel the cultural resurgence and economic development. This seems to be, the two critical area where he is giving a new kind of idiom to the entire process of development. He is not seeing economic development in isolation. For him, the cultural resurgence and economic development has to go hand in hand. So India will progress in terms of digital economy, but at the same time, India would take pride in its thousands of year old history and
Right.
the cultural heritage. I think that line he has taken and what he has been talking about next 25 years as the Amrit Kal, there I think he is going to, in next 5 years, he is going to define the targets for those next 25 years. And perhaps on corruption side also, I believe the indication that he gave,
Right.
when he said, whoever has looted this country, they will have to give it back. There, I think, maybe a subtle message where perhaps on next war on, corruption that he is going to take forward.
All right, we'll leave it at that. May I thank both my guests, Mr. Ashok Tandon and Mr. Prafulla Ketkar, for joining us and sharing your thoughts and insights with our viewers at home and abroad. Thank you for your time. Much appreciated. And moving on, only 24 lawmakers in Maldives attended the maiden